cutting-edge technology and 24/7 professional monitoring that'll help keep you and your family safe. The installation process is real simple. You can easily do it yourself or leave it to a professional team. And the best part, in my opinion, is there is no long-term contracts ever. So you'll always get the protection that you need at half the cost of traditional home security. Experts and customers love these systems. It was even named Best Home Security System of 2024 by the U.S. News and World Report. So if you want to protect your home today, I recommend Simply Safe. Right now, listeners to this podcast can get a special 20% off. Just visit simplysafe.com/Rogan. Don't wait. That's simplysafe.com/Rogan.
Every community wants to be spoken to, but I don't see myself as sort of the baby.
Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Join my name, Joe Rogan Podcast, my name, all day.
Rob White has brought up wandering puppy very heat. She's tangling the wires now.
Yeah, you know what? We could just put her out there. They got new puppies out there. Let's just put her outside. She doesn't need to be around these wires.
Let's have her do that and play with the puppy.
Yeah, sure.
How old is she? 6 months?
6 months.
She's adorable. What's her name again?
Maddie. She's like a rug that shits. That's what she is.
She's a little adorable little.
She's a golden doodle, micro golden doodle is what they're called.
Micro golden.
Yeah, so that's about how big she's supposed to be.
That's it? That's as big as they get?
That was supposed to, I hope so. I still got to cram them on planes and shit. I'm going to travel.
Those things all came from wolves.
Did they really? I don't know anything about where she came from. I got it from a breeder.
All dogs came from wolves.
They did.
It's just incredible that you can get a dog down to that. They can, I mean, even a German Shepherd, you have to turn a German Shepherd into a Chihuahua. How? How'd they do that?
I'm glad I'm not the one they're asking how to do it, because I would have to say I have no idea, dude.
I don't even think they know how people did it. Because it happens so
Chihuahuas and let them bang. That's the only thing. That's a
boss Chihuahua. What if you go back up to a wolf? When you can take Chihuahuas
and get back, just reverse DNA those things back into a creature.
Yeah, make it harder for them to live.
Is it hot in here?
No, it's not. No.
Oh no. Oh no. Then I miscalculated something. I got a miscalculation going on in my head.
No, we're good. It's like, what is it here? 70? It's cold as shit outside.
Yeah, it is. I'm up in the air on the 22nd floor. I'm still living in a condo. It is breezy up there.
Yeah, when you open up that sliding glass door, you get a taste of reality.
When a couple days ago we could barely shut it, or open it. It was just so much pressure against it. We were in Midland on Wednesday or Thursday night. It was a show. Thanks to you, if you'd just let me retire, I wouldn't have been in Midland. I was sitting on my bus, my 60,000-pound tour bus, and it is shaking in the wind. It is blowing so hard. I've owned that bus 17 years. I've never felt anything like this. And it just shaking. And that bus driver had to drive it from there to Houston for the next night's show. He got up, and 10 hours later, just wrestling that steering wheel, trying to keep that thing on the road.
Oh my God.
His shoulders were killing him. His back was so hard. It looked like he'd been in a fight all night long. 10 hours.
What a bus is such a big target for wind, too. There's so much surface
Like
there.
a big old sail.
Yeah.
But luckily, they weigh a lot. So they're 60,000 pounds. So it's pretty stable compared to a trailer, right? That somebody's pulling, right? There's no weight in that. All that weight's right here. That stuff really blows around worse than we do.
Yeah, what about
We have got weight distribution.
just the whole trailer thing?
I know all about this shit. If you want to know any of it, just ask me questions.
Okay.
All right,
The hinge between the two trailers, if something goes sideways, I would imagine that would be a lot harder to get back on track.
I don't know jack shit about that. In fact, I don't. In fact, I've owned my bus for 17 years. I've never driven it 1 foot. And if you held a gun to my head and said, "I'm going to kill you if you don't move this bus," I'd say, "You're going to have to kill me, dude, because I don't even know how to start it." I've never been curious. I'm not that kind of person. I owned a jet for years. I never went in the cockpit. I couldn't tell you what goes on up there. I'm sure the people up there knew how to fly a plane, but I've never started it. I've never moved it. I've had cops bang on, you got to move it, you're blocking an alley. I'm sorry, dude, you got the wrong guy. And the guy the driver's asleep right now because he got to drive tomorrow night. So it's kind of sitting where it's sitting unless you got it for him towed.
You've had that happen?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I had.
Yeah, because drivers can only drive so long.
Yeah, well, you drive 500 miles and then they go on overdrive. So they make the same for the next couple hours that they make for the whole day. So they like that. But but there are laws against how much that they can run without needing some rest. And we run that bus at 9, so they got to sleep in the day.
You're banking on people being able to stay awake. People fall asleep at the wheel sometimes.
Yeah, you got to go with super pros and pay them well. Because those guys understand the how important it is. That you got everything on this thing.
Yeah.
My life, my friends' lives.
Yeah.
And my family. That's who I've spent the most time with in the last 30 years. And so you get a pro that knows how to sleep, knows how to do it, knows how to work it, knows how to work those hours. I got a great guy now that I just picked up. His name was Steve, who used to work for Prevost fixing them, and a friend of Pat's who built the bus. So I got the bus covered now.
That's nice. Because you got like a little traveling apartment.
Yeah, it's the greatest. You ought to get one. In fact, I was looking at them the other day for you. I did. I was like, you ought to. You got a place to store it. Park it in one of your gyms.
No, just the thought of traveling around on highways while you're just kind of, you're hoping all these other people around you keep their shit together.
Right.
Well, except regular people, not pilots, regular people driving multi-thousand-pound machines on rubber tires, weaving in and out of lanes.
Yeah, you can't ever come on my bus with thoughts like that. Spewing them out there, I'll never sleep again.
Some guy
You're
just
ruining
cut
for
in front
everybody.
of me the other day, didn't see me on the highway, I don't think. Just cut right in front of me.
Never saw you. We
I don't
run.
think he saw me. I think he just turned in my lane. I think, it was a left lane thing. He was going to the left lane. I just don't think he saw me.
The problem with that bus is that you get so used to it, and you're so used to living on it when it's moving, and you kind of forget that you're standing there, but you're really going 70 miles an hour. So if something happens, and this happened one time, we were in Orlando, and it was actually a cop that did it, cut in front of the bus. I'm standing there washing dishes or whatever I was doing, and then Pat's got to hit the brakes and turn to the left from going through. Now I'm going 70 miles an hour. I'm still going 70 miles an hour, but he's going 52 and going that way, and I'm going 70 miles an hour this way. And I landed on this chair, which looks padded, but it doesn't feel padded when you hit it. And I thought I would never walk again or breathe again after I just walked away from it. I wouldn't even hurt, but you got to sit down and remember, hey, this thing's moving, right? So if something happens, you got to be ready for it to happen.
Yeah.
And I sleep like a baby on it. So
That's crazy.
in fact, I spend too much time on it. I got to hire somebody to shake my bed when I'm at home just a little bit, so I feel like I'm moving down.
If we wanted to look at the bright side of human beings, highways are a pretty good indicator that people, for the most part, keep it together. For the most part.
I think that's really how you can really tell when you're back in America and how good we are at putting the country together. Is how good our roads are compared to, it's really funny if you cross the bridge from Reynosa, Mexico to McAllen, Texas, which I used to do all the time. It was a joint project. So the U.S. built half the bridge, Mexico built half the bridge. And I'm not being a racist, and I love Mexican people. I just got back from Mexico City. But our side of the bridge is smooth as silk, and as soon as you hit that river, boom, 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 boom. But that just goes to what you just said. It's a mark of what you've achieved as a civilization, the kind of road work that you've got. And you get back to Texas, where we got those U-turn lanes on the freeway. And we got to figure it out here in Texas, man. We got the best roads ever. The best roads ever.
It's just counting on all those people to keep their shit together all the time while you're driving on the highway. And most people do it. Most people, the vast majority of us, keep our shit together.
That's why I think bus drivers should make more than pilots, because there's way more shit to run into.
Oh, yeah, way more.
And
Way more things that can make mistakes that are all around.
Right, you're right. Things that are completely out of your control.
Yeah.
That ain't going on up in the sky there.
There's also people play stupid road games. I'm sure you've seen those. People get aggressive with each other on the road. When you're in a car, this was explained to me. I forget who told us. Who told us this? With the reason why road rage really exists at such a hyper level is because you're really tuned in because you're driving the car. It's an extraordinary thing. You're really, you know things are happening fast. Your mind's tuned in. So any little thing, like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
So
right.
you're already at like 7.
Right.
And so when you're already at 7 and something happens, it freaks you out.
It's amazing how even-headed I think I am, but what really little it takes to set me off. I like to think I'm a step above all that stuff, but
AG1 has been helping me feel healthy for years, and if you've been listening to this podcast at all, you've probably heard me talk about it, not just in ads, but with guests, my friends. I tell everyone, AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. So it really covers all your bases with one drink in the morning. And that's my favorite part. It's very easy. With the free welcome kit, you get everything you need to start your day right. You don't have to remember 20 different pills or vitamins or supplements, just one scoop in cold water and you're good. So if you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 now and you'll get a free welcome kit that includes a shaker bottle, canister, and metal scoop, along with a 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/Rogan. That's drinkag1.com/Rogan. Check it out.
I was in Mexico City the other day, and this guy, I needed to find something, a pharmacy, and so this guy was, it's in the nice Beverly Hills part of Mexico City, and this guy's walking, he's got a business suit on, and I don't look that great, my hair is all over the place, and I said, can you tell me where a pharmacy is? The guy didn't even look at me, he just kept on running. I said, please, could you just tell me where a pharmacy is? And the guy didn't even look at me, I was like, fuck, I went off on the fucking guy, he was just trying to get where he was going, and didn't want to be stopped by some big, hairy, drug-addicted looking thing, that was coming at him for
You
some
do look a little sketchy. Like if you're asking for where the pharmacy is and I don't know who you are.
Right, and I'm basically wearing pajamas, and the wind's blowing, but that's how far I am away from really snapping. I'm not hovering above anything, I don't think.
There was always the joke that you could go to pharmacies in Mexico and just buy anything. Is that true? Because people would always say that. They would call them like Mexicans. I was always call them Mexican supplements.
Yeah.
Steroids and things that people
I think there are some things that you can get like Valium and stuff like that, but you can't go down there and get like opioids.
Oh no,
I don't think so. I don't know.
Just
according to a few TikTok videos I've seen, you can walk in and get lots of like steroid type stuff. I'm looking on like this.
Yeah, you can get HGH and stuff like that, but that's not what you're talking about.
I'm talking about everything. Like what can you do?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's really that open a book. I know you can get cheap dental care
But I
down
think
there.
they decriminalized a lot of things in Mexico fairly recently. Lexapro. So you can just go in with no prescription and buy
Viagra.
But the weird ones like Lexapro, that's like an antidepressant, right?
I have no idea what that
You
is.
just go buy penicillin.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, why should you have to go through it if you need penicillin, your dick's dripping, get something for it, go down there and patch it up. You don't want to admit it to anybody.
I think it's a Viagra. It's a blue pill cell.
That's hilarious.
Look at the dick on
What
it.
does it say? Macho caliente?
Very hot. That's what that means. Very hot.
It's a pharmacy with a dude with a boner.
He's got abs too. He's got a little gut, but it's like a mix between me and Rogan. He's got a big old fucking upper body and a gut hanging down there.
It's a human Viagra pill with a boner at a
And a
pharmacy.
sombrero.
It's a bear.
Yeah, I know. It's too bad you can't see this. Oh, I guess some people watch this on television,
Yeah,
right?
some of them do, yeah.
Isn't that thing from like the ancient times?
Yes, it is, but it's also, I think it's a sleeping pill.
Right, but it's right next to a bottle of shampoo, right? That's a lotion, body lotion.
Isn't it kind of ironic that is Soma, is it sleeping medication? I don't know what it is.
That's a good question.
Because the original Soma was like
Muscle
for
relaxer.
muscle relaxer. So the original Soma, they don't even know what it was. There's all sorts of questions as to what it was. They think it had something to do with mushrooms, perhaps, but it might have been a bunch of other psychedelics too. They don't know what it was.
I still don't know what it is.
Have you heard the term?
No.
You never heard the term Soma? It's like an ancient term for like some sort of a magical elixir. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I mean, that's when I Google it. It says it itself is also a god. So.
Some drinks.
I want some.
Yeah, ancient Indian drug, Soma.
This is right down my alley.
Made from a plant called Soma, is a god and a drink that was used as an offering to the gods in some Vedic rituals. Soma was celebrated at an early period as shown in the hymns of the Veda. Wow.
From when?
They don't really, fucking thousands of years ago. When was that?
And they still use this today?
No, it's
It sounds more of a term.
used as like a term. It's like a Soma is like a thing that cures all. A Soma is a thing that clears minds. Some, there's various interpretations of what it does. But it's kind of crazy that they named a muscle relaxant that. Like, how brazen. How brazen.
I bet you do feel better
I
overall.
feel great.
Yeah, my muscles are pretty relaxed all the time. Yours aren't. You need the muscle relaxant.
What do those do to you? They just conk you out?
They make me play better golf because it takes the tension out of my shoulders and my swing.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of golfers use all kinds of meds to get loose, or they actually go down to stretch lab and get those muscles all stretched out so you can play.
I've heard with pool players, Percocets is the big one.
Well, that's all nerves, right? I mean, if you can.
Is that what Percocets do?
Well, yeah, I think so. Calm your nerves, or deaden them, or whatever.
I've never taken that.
I've been watching this pool player that comes up on my feed now, and he's like an old, kind of chubby, fat Mexican-looking guy. And he's like the greatest pool player that ever lived.
Efren Reyes.
Is that who it is?
From the Philippines.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
I've been watching that guy play a little bit. Once it gets on my TikTok, it starts feeding to me. If I know I eat it, they'll go, oh, yeah, have another one. But I like watching this guy play fucking pool. I'm like, God, he's fearless. He's got ice water just pumping through his veins.
He's a wizard, like a real wizard. He does things on a pool table, and there he is.
Yeah, that guy right there. That guy's all over my TikTok feed now. I can't get him off.
He does things on a pool table that are magical.
How old is he?
Well, he's older now. He's probably in his late, like 69, says.
And he
That's old.
still play.
He still plays all the time. They live stream videos of him playing.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. I think.
Yeah, so they have these setups. Like Efren Reyes is, really arguably the greatest pool player in the history of pool players, and he's now still playing all the time online. He plays online. He's not as good as he was when he was in his prime because he's 69 years old. He's a young man's game.
I played pool my whole life. We had a pool table at my house when I was a kid. And so I always like watching, trick players or people that can, run the table and do weird shots and stuff like that.
This guy changed the way people stroke the ball. He came along and he had this very loose and relaxed hand grip on the cue.
Right.
Whereas some of the American players, they were a little too tight with their hand on the cue. And Efren came along and it was like this flowing, sort of like almost like he was playing a musical instrument.
Right.
And the way he did it is so relaxed that his stroke, like the way the cue ball would dance around the table, was wild to watch, man.
Maybe that's what I'm so intrigued about because I don't know exactly what I'm seeing, but I was watching it on that, and you can see he does have a different motion into the ball. It even looks like, with that.
Well, you've played pool before.
Yeah.
Right? So if you played pool before, like when someone looks like they're good. That guy looks like he can play pool. You watch that guy, you're like, oh, this is like a completely different kind of thing.
And then you would guess that I would guess if I saw him on the street that I could beat him at pool. And then he would have all my money, and I'd go, what the fuck happened to me just now?
They brought him over to America under a fake name to hustle with him. They brought him over as Cesar Morales. So these backers, they came from the Philippines to big money. They came to America, and they brought that dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah, that's a killer. They brought him. The pool world is so sneaky that they brought him in under a fake name because they didn't want people to ask around back to the Philippines, like people who make calls to the Philippines. Hey, who's this Evan Morales guy? And then everybody would just say, "Oh, he's the best. He's the best." So instead, they just came up with a name, Cesar Morales. He won this giant tournament at Cesar Morales. It's like a famous.
No shit.
Yeah, I have it on a T-shirt. That Morales stuns field at Reds. So they just bring him in to like the biggest pool tournament in the country, and this guy's just romping it, just getting out in ways that people are like, "Oh my god!" Like his stroke, his knowledge, where the ball's going, the creativity.
Just a genius.
Genius, a virtuoso.
Yeah. Well, I actually knew nothing about it because my phone figured out that I liked watching him.
Right. But you can still tell.
Yeah.
You can still, even though you don't play a lot of pool, you look at that, you can tell. That's wild.
Yeah, I never played a lot of pool. I was never good. I never had a good eye for the game. I played a lot so I could play, I could beat my friends.
Yeah.
But if somebody came in, it's like ping pong. I beat the guys on my block pretty bad, but if somebody came in that was a player, they could just push me around and shove me out the door.
I've had a couple fun opportunities to play like real pros here. Like this guy, Fedor Gorst, he's probably number 2 or number 3 in the world. Incredible player. And me and him played for hours there. When we're playing, it's wild just to watch him up close do things. You go, what the fuck? Like, how are you doing that so effortlessly?
Yeah, just like watching a professional golfer when you play golf,
The smoothness and the precision, it's just like,
Yeah, but that's when I watch pro golfers. I get to play with them every once in a while, and it's actually kind of like that guy's loose thing. That's how that golf swing is. It's really loose, and nothing's really connected hard to anything. And it's just the way it comes to the ball, something magic happens.
Yeah,
I'm trying to strangle the club, beat it to death, and it doesn't work at all. I'm writing a book right now, 50 years of bad golf, how I did it. And, I had a plan to do it this bad for so long.
Tony says you play good.
No, you know what? I'm back like I'm like I wasn't anything. I can beat guys my age. If you don't know me and we're playing golf together, I'll kick your ass. But am I a player? No, there are guys 10 years older than me that can beat me to death on the golf course. Any of those old pro guys that I hook up with every once in a while, Daly can still beat me like a drum.
Isn't it interesting? It's like there's a control of a game like that. What an extraordinary talent. Because it's all so variable. There's so many things going on.
You literally never do the same thing twice the whole time you play golf your whole life, because something's going to be different about the wind and the way and where you went, what kind of lie you got on the ground, what club you need to get to that. It's all a game of questions. And you rarely have the answer. Even Ben Hogan, who was arguably the best ball striker ever, said that in an average day of golf, he hits 2 shots the way he wanted to exactly. And the rest of them are close to that, so his misses are really good. So if I hit 1 shot a month that I'll go, that was perfect. And that's about how often I can do it. Everything else is pretty good.
It's such a fascinating.
Yeah, you don't have the time. You don't have the time.
Nope, I don't.
No.
I'm scared. I love it.
You would, but you've always had that position, right? You've always kind of looked at golf. That's what people that want to get into golf, they think about starting out. It's a waste of time and money. You need to understand that going into it. More time than you can ever imagine, and you have to settle with how good you want to be, because to be better than that, you got to spend hours and hours. Where you can if you want to just rake it around, gamble with your friends, you don't have to practice all that money.
I knew quite a few comic buddies that I think lost a little inspiration in their career because they were spending so much time playing golf.
Yeah. Well, that's how I killed my days, and I still do to this day. When I was on the road like you were, I don't know what you were doing during the day, but I was trading tickets for free golf, moving wherever I could.
So you just play everywhere you go.
Yeah, we still do. That's nice. Travel at night, wake up at a golf course, crawl out, you're in the parking lot. It's like you were FedExed over there.
That's great.
Crawl out of the box and play some golf, you know. Kill another day. You're over here building an empire. I'm killing another day.
Yeah, killing another day is sweet.
Yeah.
You'll do it that way. I mean, what is life? What is life if not enjoyment?
It's all about love.
Yeah.
It's all about love. How much do you love? How much care you love? You know, outside of that, nothing much. But
Yeah.
but that's, you know, it's a waste of time or whatever. I can do charity events with golf. People like to see me, you know, shake hands. I like doing that kind of stuff. So, you know.
Well, you just love the game.
I do love
You
the
love
game.
talking
I
about
watch it, you know, because I play it. You know, like you and fighting, you know, exactly, because you know exactly what that is that they're doing. You can't even hardly explain it to me, even when you're trying to make me really understand what's going on exactly. When two guys are on the ground and it looks like nothing's happening, and you're losing your mind because there's so many things happening.
That's a hard one to explain too, because I'm trying to explain it while it's actually happening, so I have to have the path carved out in my head. Like, especially on like some transitions that guys do, when they go and mount to rear naked choke, and I'm trying to like set up what he's gonna do while not stepping on what they're doing, you know, and then it's like this weird.
Nobody can ever take your job.
God, a lot of guys can do that.
No, that's not true.
A lot of guys can do that.
That's not true.
No, these guys are awesome at it.
If Rogan doesn't say it, it doesn't get said. And that's true. That's how people feel. You know, they sit around waiting for you to tell them what to think and do. And that's as far as fighting goes.
That's ridiculous. No, there's guys that are better at it than me. Dominic Cruz is better at it from a technical standpoint. You know, he was a UFC champion. He's had a shit ton of fights. He knows a lot about the technique.
Yeah, but he's not Joe Rogan. So it's not as fun to hear.
Yeah, for me, the fun, I get it, but for me, the fun is the fight. Fun is the, you know, who the fuck knows what's going to happen.
You can tell that. You can see the joy in your face that it brings you with with all these fucking events.
Well, you're getting to see literally the greatest fist fighters of all time, the greatest stand-up, ground fighting, MMA fighting warriors of all time. They exist right now.
Now I get that, and I get that it's the ultimate sport. Okay, I'll fight you. You know, that's how war should be decided. One guy and one guy. Instead of we're going to take our lower middle class, put them in a field with your lower middle class, they're going to kill each other.
Yeah.
You ought to just fight me in the fucking alley.
That's too difficult, bro. So they'd rather just fight you with narratives.
Right.
Fight you with mandates.
But you know me, I won't listen to their narratives.
Yeah.
That's how I defend myself. I'm really careful about what information I let in my head because I don't know what's going to stew around in there.
I hear you, man. I hear you, especially in this day and age. And also, there's so much to worry about. Every fucking time I get on the news and I start reading what's happening in the world every day, it's something new that's insane that you have to worry about.
I know, and that's why I'm just real careful about what news I let in my head, you know. And
Don't let it in.
And I've got news feeds on my phone that these are news organizations that I trust. That if something wacko in the world's going to happen, it's news, and they're going to pick it up. And but if it's something completely unverifiable that I don't even need to fucking know, they're not going to pick it up. And but if I know when people go down that fucking dark road in the web, they come out on the other side, and sometimes you can't get them back. You know, they're full blown. I got friends that came back full blown QAnon that believe that Satan, they're Satan worshiping cabal of Democrats that eat babies. I'm like, where are all the missing babies? You know, how many babies does it take to feed all the Democrats? If they're all drinking the blood of the babies, there's going to be some missing babies right somewhere. No, they're full of sheets. I don't know. They got some answers to anything you throw at them. Tom Hanks, I'm like, that's not true. Tom Hanks still making movies. Tom Hanks didn't eat a baby. Yeah, he did. And they believe it.
Where did Tom Hanks come from?
I don't know. It's just straight out of QAnon. It was their basic doctrine in the beginning was all this bizarre claims. And I got a friend you met her. I'm not going to say her name, but she believes this with all of her heart.
Right.
All of her heart. And there's nothing I can do to to say, nothing I can
Well,
take from it.
I think at least a certain portion of that is other governments fucking with people.
Absolutely it
Chat
is.
rooms.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
And you can sway the uninformed. They're not uninformed, they're misinformed.
Yeah.
They're informed, they're taking in information, but it's just the wrong information, and something you can be easily manipulated by that kind of stuff. I mean, the human nature wants to go where it finds comfort,
Yeah.
And if somebody's feeding you what you eat, you'll go that way, even if it's not good for you.
And people have a very strong desire to uncover mysteries.
Right.
Very strong desire to get to the truth.
Yeah.
Because in important situations, like you said, there's something real going on. That's a good quality. It's a good quality to have. But if it's, they're eating babies, it's like, okay,
Right.
What's the benefit of eating babies? Like, why
Right.
are they doing this?
It gives them some kind of superpower, It's so bizarre. It's so off of any, what I would consider realm of possibility of it ever being part of it being true. But, people go down there and they'll see just a path of things that lead them, some of it true, some of it not true, not true.
Right.
And they'll head off down that direction. They don't come back, and separate families, man. We don't talk to Grandpa anymore. He's gone off the fucking deep end.
And you know what's really insidious about that? Is that the more crazy ones that are out there, the more people start linking them all together, the more real conspiracies sneak through. Because if you wanted to hide a real conspiracy, I would hide it in a bunch of other bullshit conspiracies. This episode is brought to you by Simply Safe. When you want peace of mind, I think the first thing you've got to get is a Simply Safe home security system. It's comprehensive protection for your whole home with cutting-edge technology and 24/7 professional monitoring that'll help keep you and your family safe. The installation process is real simple. You can easily do it yourself or leave it to a professional team. And the best part, in my opinion, is there is no long-term contracts ever. So you'll always get the protection that you need at half the cost of traditional home security. Experts and customers love these systems. It was even named Best Home Security System of 2024 by the U.S. News and World Report. So if you want to protect your home today, I recommend right now, listeners to this podcast can get a special 20% off any new Simply Safe system when they sign up for Fast Protect monitoring. Just visit simplysafe.com/Rogan. Don't wait, that's simplysafe.com/Rogan. I put a bunch of bullshit ones out there.
Sure.
I'd make it so that morons believe that Michelle Obama has a dick. I would just pump it out everywhere. I'd make fake videos.
And that's exactly what's going on.
That's what's going on.
And
But if you did that, though, then you could sneak in some real conspiracies, and that otherwise people would think, well, that's outrageous. That kind of corruption would be uncovered. Right. That kind of corruption would be prosecuted. And you're like, wait, no one's going to anybody's getting busted for this? This is
right.
What?
Right.
No
And
one's getting
nobody
investigated?
Right. So it's not really happening.
It's bananas.
And also, people want to, and I know because somebody that has no formal education, right? I don't have any formal education. I didn't make it through high school. My favorite joke that I ever wrote was, I do have a GED, and if you don't know what GED stands for, you probably got one too. That's one of my favorite jokes. But, they would love to have the answer to a question. They would love to be able to make a point of some kind. They would love to, but they can't because they're just sit around watching other people do it. And I wish I could think of something to say, and I can't think of anything. Well, if there's somebody feeding them something to say, now they get real loud about it. Right. Because they have a point to make, even though they don't understand it at all. They just know how to sound like they're making a point, like Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever. That's who they were, and now they feel like they can make a point, so they'll be real fucking loud about it. But if you've actually been around a while, you sit around and shake your head and go, "You're a goddamn idiot." But all you got to do is be the smartest person in your region, and boom, you're in Congress. They think she's smart as fuck down there. It's that one little section of Georgia where
It's the problem with it is, like, how many people do you know want to run the government? How many people do you know? How many know that are like really healthy, clear thinking, business-minded people that have been successful that want to run the government? Fucking nobody. So you're not getting any of those folks.
No, you're not. What you're going to get is you're going to get their money to influence things in the direction they'd like to see it go without them having to be there doing day-to-day stuff on it. So they can have influence on it, but they don't want it. They want to be the president of the United States?
Do they have it set up like a minor league? Like they groom politicians, they get them to a position, and like, I like how you stand on this.
Right,
Maybe if you stood a little bit further on this line, we can support you on this.
Absolutely.
And then they start grooming them
Yeah.
for the big stage, just like you would do with like regional plays, and all of a sudden you're on Broadway.
Right. Well, that's the religious right. They want somebody. They want to get rid of abortion. So what are they going to do? They got to stack those courts. What are you going to do? There's 1 trillion of us, and we'll put you in office, and we'll be. But you got to put this judge here and this judge there. So what our thing comes to pass. So that's just the way it works.
I'm even more cynical. I just can't believe that human beings as a whole haven't resolved a bunch of different things. There's a bunch of I don't believe are really coming back around. I think people are making this argument that they're coming back around, and they're highlighting moments where it's coming back around.
Coming back around with what?
I just don't. I think this is one of the weirdest times ever for human beings to communicate. And I think because there's so many of us, and there's so many people that are talking, and there's so many voices, and it's happening on everyone's phone, and it's happening all over the fucking world, all at once.
Never been like this ever in the history, and it makes you wonder where it's going.
I think it's short-circuiting everything.
I do too.
It's short-circuiting our government. It's short-circuiting.
It makes me nervous. And one of the things that makes me nervous, this government that we have, it's complicated. It is complicated. So you just can't be some douchebag on the side going, I want them out of there. You got to have a plan because this thing's got to work. You don't want separation of church and state? Well, why don't you just move to Iran then? Because that's what happened over there. The religious right took over. Now our laws are your laws. That used to be a pretty normal place. People don't believe that. But Iran used to be fucking strawberry rivers and shit. Normal people with jobs.
Run. There were people that were willing to laugh at people's deaths because they didn't want to get vaccinated for COVID. There were people like that at the same time thinking they're all on the internet.
I know. When it came to all that stuff, you know me, I don't talk about politics on stage, and I never knew it, I never will. And it's not, you just want to be able to sell tickets to both people. But no, I want stand-up comedy to be a place where we can laugh. And I'm going to do what so I'm not going to take a position. I never did. If I was a political commentator before, okay, that's fine. If I'm not Bill Maher. So I don't bring it into my show because I want us all to come in and just be able to fucking laugh together and find out how much that matters. And at the end of my shows now, I'm reminding people that no matter what our differences are, we just still came to this room and we all laughed at the same thing. We laughed hard, we loved each other, and we had a great experience. Let's remember that. Let's try to get back to that.
Right.
Instead of all these stupid little things that makes it look like we have. It's like fake rivalries almost.
Exactly.
It's not like Texas and Oklahoma. They're the same place.
Exactly.
There's no difference between those two places, and they act like, well, we're Oklahoma, and somebody put that in their head,
What I was getting at was that if they're willing to do that over just some issue of whether you want to or don't want to get a vaccine, what would they do if they really believe
What's going on, baby? We got LP playing in the house, and we got Ahorama. How you doing?
Really bad. The power goes out for a while.
Anything.
Yeah, and justify it.
And that's what's dangerous is they genuinely do believe that.
Yes.
That we would be better off if we did things like this, for sure, under these laws of God in this book. By when Jesus would get back to his basic teachings that I really dug, which is love each other, love. And wait a minute, that was but still, Jesus was singing a similar song about, and with a good positive message, and that message was always of love. Back when I went to church, my uncle's still a preacher to this day. Dr. Charles Pollard still preaching to the American Indians out in Farmington, New Mexico for no money. Has 23 people about at every service, and then he goes to jails, and he's 90 years old. Still working to this day, still knocking it out for the Lord. And he used to be the president of the Southern Baptist Convention. My uncle did, so that was a very powerful position. And then he fell out of favor with him because he just didn't believe in some of the doctrine. And then he showed up at my grandmother's birthday party on a Harley with no shirt on. I'm like, oh no, Uncle Charlie has gone nuts. So he went down to Corpus, I think it was, and he started this kind of gospel according to Charlie thing. And then it was just a kind of a phase he went through. And then but now he still believes in that basic doctrine, and I love him to death. He's one of my favorite people. I'll talk to him all day long. He's a treasure, he really is, and just a sweetheart of a guy. All about love and sweetness.
That's awesome.
His wife died, and I asked him. I said, "Did your knowledge of God and Jesus, did that help you with her death?" And he goes, "Nope, not a bit. It hurt, and I hated it, and I didn't understand it. I was like everybody else. Didn't help." So now, but that's just how honesty is. Uncle Charlie!
Isn't it fascinating how much religion is practiced by so many different people in so many different ways? And yet, if someone tried to start a new one right now, good fucking luck. Good luck. The feds would investigate you right immediately. If you start your own religion, if you bought some land out in Bastrop,
Right?
and the Ron White Church.
You're already thinking about doing this, aren't you? You're just putting my name on it.
No.
I know what you're doing.
I'm not interested in any of those activities.
I'm not either.
But if you did,
I would get my uncle to come run it.
you would 100% get investigated.
Oh, yeah.
But if you wanted to open up a Catholic church, if you said you converted to Catholicism, you wanted to open up Ron White's Catholic church,
Right.
they'd be like, oh,
With a mission and
a respectable position to take, Ron. Good for you.
Yeah,
Congratulations on converting.
it's hard to get new money. It is.
Yeah, you can't be a startup in the religion world.
I think that's what Uncle Charlie found out. You got to be hooked to a brand.
What's going on,
You
Ness?
have to be in business.
Ness, how are you? Ness, Earth to Nest, how are you?
Scientology, you can get wild and go with them, or Mormons.
Ness.
Go with them. But if you just want to go
Dog.
straight Christian, you're like a very
Dog.
acceptable pathway.
And I can get along with it. If you're Scientology, that one's really hard for me to swallow, but it's hard. It's just difficult.
Let me ask you this: what are the standards? Say if you wanted to start a church, if you were legitimately committed to the Bible and you became like a
What all
Bible
you've really done is
scholar.
write science fiction novels.
No. That's that guy. That's the Scientology guy. But I'm saying if you wanted to start a church, like a Christian church, what would be the requirements? If you just say, I've been studying the Bible for 10 years, I want to teach at a church, could you just open up a church? How does that work?
I don't know, but you're asking me this like I've done it, but
I'm trying to get you to do it. That's the next thing.
yeah, I know what you're up to. That's how you manipulate people, Joe. That's how they built this empire, by the way.
You look like a Jesus type figure. What are the requirements, Jamie? If you wanted to start the Church of Jamie?
Perfect question for ChatGPT. I
Yes.
asked ChatGPT, and there are 12 steps it gave me.
12 steps. Determine your purpose and beliefs. Clearly define the purpose and beliefs of your church. This includes your mission, vision, and core doctrine.
Okay.
2, legal structure. Choose a legal structure for your church. Options may include becoming a nonprofit organization, establishing a religious corporation, or forming a religious association. Consult legal experts to determine the best structure for your situation. Okay, so it seems like you just have to get a legal thing. like you would like some sort of an LLC or something.
Yeah. What do you want? What you want is the tax exempt status, and the rest of it doesn't really matter. You get that tax exempt status, then you can start hoarding wealth in the name of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints or whatever, and you can hold all these billions of dollars in real estate holdings all under that tax exempt status. If they start, this is the only thing that gets me going, is big church. We need to tax big church, and those pastors, those mega churches, they need to be looked at under the biggest, brightest light you can look at. Joel Osteen, fuck you, Osteen. I tried. He said it right here first. The Mattress Max makes a much better. To me, if you want an example of how Christ wanted us to live, it would be Mattress Max and not Joel Osteen.
I don't know who Mattress Max.
Well, he's the guy that bets $10 million on the Astros every year and wins. This is how he got famous. That's Mattress Max right there. During the big floods in Houston just a few years ago, when here's two things that happened. Mattress Max, people were literally dying in the street. Mattress Max owns huge furniture stores. Come up here, he opened them up. Sleep on them couches. I don't care, and I'll find a way to make food for you guys. And people bringing hot dogs and shit down there, making everybody food, slept in. Make sure you're comfortable. Make sure you're safe. And look at it. This is it. All these people over at Mattress Max's furniture store, he brought in everybody he could. But Joel Osteen wouldn't even let him in the door because they just had the carpets redone at his cathedral church, and he didn't want people tracking shit in there.
Did he eventually give in though and let people stay there?
I don't think so.
I thought he did.
Well, if he did it for the wrong reason, right? Mattress Max did that for the right reason. These people needed to get in out of the cold and the wet and whatever. There he is. There he is.
He defended not opening Lakewood Church in Houston to Harvey victims. He defended it.
Yeah. Yeah, because of that carpet was just cleaned, and look at it.
Bro, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
First of
Look
all,
at it.
it's so obvious. Like, doing something like that is so obvious. You have a private jet. It's so obvious. You have a mansion. It's so obvious. How much does that watch? This is so obvious. What you're doing is so obvious. This is not. The super duper rich church guy is a fucking crazy thing.
You know that I could do it. I could totally do it. That would be my calling.
That's what I'm saying. You should do it.
And I should do it.
Yes, listen, if you do it, we'll all join. We'll get like tax-free something. We'll work something out.
Right? It'll just be us.
That's
but
what you got
with a great fucking. Can we bring the 11 million people that listen to your show under?
Everybody under one umbrella.
Come on, guys. Come on, get behind this. We don't even know what it is yet, but we're gonna let you know.
That's the thing you never do today. Like, imagine trying to start a new country today. Fuck you. We would never let you.
No.
Never.
No, we'd phone you.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
It's like just like you trying to start a new religion. Nope. No new countries, no new religions. We're not hearing it. Religions have to be old as fuck, so they might be true.
Right, or at least have some kind of connection to some really ancient text.
Yeah, or this the Scientology one. They just threatened to sue. That was a genius move. What they did was amazing. They threatened thousands of lawsuits. Everyone was going to file a lawsuit.
They're all lawyers. The same with the fucking Latter-day Saints guys. You got a bunch of lawyers.
You got to give it up to them. That's pretty ballsy.
Yeah, and you're selling something that's not easy to sell. You know, they got that story. I mean, none of it. You know, the stories I believe. Well, that's why I wrote that beautiful joke that didn't work the other day, and about the Christians and the light. Let me break that down for your listeners. Because I'm writing my worst stuff right now. Because now I can write stuff that nobody will laugh at. Out of 250 people, 250 people don't laugh. And but when I was a kid, I was raised in the Baptist church. Uncle Charlie, my preacher, when I was little, and but there was a storybook. It wasn't the Bible, but it was just something we got in Sunday school, and it was depicted Christians being fed to the lions, which always stuck in my craw that was a big story, a big deal. I mean, I know we've all been oppressed, but feeding them to the lions, that's a pretty big deal. And I really thought it was universal knowledge. So when they were looking for a new name for the Washington Commanders, I suggested the Christians. Because and I thought about this joke for 3 days, and I thought about the buildup of laughter it was going to get. It was going to work so well, and they were going to end up changing the name of the comedy club to Brown White's Mothership because of this one joke and how well it worked. But the way that it was going to start, the Rumble was going to start like this. When Detroit comes to town, they're going to make the connections of Detroit, Lions, Christians, my storybook from my childhood. And that's the Rumble of the really hip laughter. And because when the Lions get back to that's the next laugh was going to be, when the Lions meet the Christians on a even playing field where, so none of it got a laugh. None of it worked. And they stared at me. And that was a good crowd, too. They were waiting for the next funny thing that I said. And that was it. And I really was expecting it. And I was never been so wrong about it.
Do you think you're just old enough to where you're like over that curve where the Christians and the Lions were more recent than they were?
Yeah, I just don't think everybody got that storybook.
Nobody gets that anymore.
No, I didn't. Well, obviously.
Yeah, I got it. I
Yeah.
got Christians and Lions.
Yeah.
I got that connection. I don't think kids get
But
that
you said you
connection.
would have told me not to do it, which was a lie,
Yeah.
because you would have told me to do it because you want me to try new shit.
Always wanted to. I was joking around when I said, don't know, I would have told you not to do it. I
No,
was joking.
you would have told me to
That
do
was
it,
just
and you
told
would
me
have been wrong.
But you told me a bomb
Been wrong.
before I even found out about it.
And
I said, I
so
would've told you
bad.
not
It
to
was
do
so
that.
laughably. I laughed so hard at how wrong I was. That's how little.
That's how you fuck around and find out.
And that's the truth.
That's how you. I mean, bits are fascinating. They change their structure like on stage.
I could do 5 minutes now on why that joke didn't work.
Yep.
But that would be way more entertaining than the joke ever was, Show up Tuesday.
Dude, I was watching a video today of this lion gone wrong situation in a circus. Oof. Oh my God. These people, this lion attacked this dude and they're hitting it with a hose. I mean, this guy's getting fucked up by this lion. And they're spraying it with a hose to get it off. That's how they get it off with a water hose. And he gets away and then the lion gets him again. The lion gets him again and they're water hosed in. They're beating
You got
him.
footage of this?
Yeah, there's footage of it. It looks like it's Russian. If you don't find it, Jamie, I'm 99% sure I saved it on my phone because it's so fucked up. But I'd have to go through it. That would be some dead air.
Russian hose.
I forget who sent it.
You don't edit these things, do you?
The podcast?
Yeah.
No. I want it to be like this.
Right.
Yeah, I like a little dead air. This is it. So something happened.
Oh, it's a circus thing.
Yeah, something happens. This line just decides he fucking enough. I mean, this thing just jacks this dude.
Well, that's what happened to
And see, they're spraying him with a hose to try to get him off.